How do we shoot a launch campaign for an iconic creator brand? Let's break it down. Matt and I don't just do YouTube. In fact, the majority of our jobs for the past couple of years has been shooting launch campaigns. And when JOBY asked us to create one for the Spin and Swing, we thought it'd be the perfect opportunity to shoot the whole process and break it down. We pitched them this bright, stylized take on being a creator, with minimal color pop sets. Everything was storyboarded out and pre-visualized in Blender, meaning we knew exactly how we were going to construct and light the scene in advance.
We considered doing it all on a green screen, but when we did the math, it was going to be cheaper to repaint our site several colours. That way, we're saving on post and don't need to render our sets virtually. With pre-production in the can, we jumped into production with a lot of painting.
Let's fix that. Meet Spin and Swing, a pocket-sized power couple ready to make your videos and social content better than ever before. As soon as you go into the throw up of the Spin and Swing, obviously that would be a nightmare to actually film.
The Spin and Swing, when he throws it up into the air, they're real.
Yep.
And then as soon as we kind of go to the floating hero shots, we did all those as CG renders. With those, again, it was kind of easy. We could just get the production 3D files that they used to make them.
Yeah.
So it was really just a matter of kind of texturing them and making them look real.
You say it's easy. I could not do that.
And there's a lot of like, some things are really easy, and then other things like just getting the bubble level to look kind of right and stuff.
It's kind of that fun thing as well when you're working in product video, you're trying to get it to look as perfect and fake as possible. And when you're working in like 3D renders, you're trying to get them to look like not quite so perfect so they look real.
Yeah, exactly. I think a lot of time was spent looking at the actual materials the plastic had and adding that subtle just deviation and texture to it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think a real classics, people just put finger smudges and stuff on it.
Yeah.
But when you're doing perfect looking products, that's not really something you want to do.
You're not going to see Apple put smears on the screens of their iPhones.
Yeah, definitely.
You're a creator, bringing your ideas, passion, and voice to the stories you tell and videos you create. So why do your videos look like everyone else's? So we had this idea in the pitch to show a whole lot of tech reviewers. Like whenever there's a new product come out, there's like 100 videos on YouTube immediately about it. And they're all kind of similar, a little bit different. And this was the one where we finally put our foot down and said, we're not gonna paint this 9 different colors in a week.
So reluctantly we dragged out the green screen. How we did it was the shot in the middle with our main tech talent, that was real. And then all the other shots are just a person sitting on a green screen. And then
was a person sitting on a stool.
They were sitting on a stool.
Black scrim, on their lap where the table would be.
So that way it created the shadow, but the reason we didn't actually use the real table is because it's bright red.
Exactly.
And we didn't want the bright red spill on the talent. So the table in all the shots is faked.
Which means the box is in the exact same position on all the tables.
Yeah. But it's because it's such a quick shot and stuff. You can get away with so much.
Easy one as well. Once we had the background in red, we could just hue shift it to the various colors and match it to the t-shirts that we bought in bulk.
And again, the t-shirts were shifted very slightly as well.
Yeah.
Simply attach to a tripod, connect your phone, and set your start and end points to add smooth motion to any shot.
One thing you'll probably notice is there's a lot of screens that pop up in this video, and every single screen is all done in post.
Yeah.
And we've got a couple tricks, I guess, when it kind of comes to that.
Well, it always makes me so mad when I see people painting their screens green or using like a green overlay to try key it out afterwards, which is just, I don't know, such an inefficient way to do it.
And I think because the main thing you're trying to do is make it look realistic. And so one of the hardest things to replicate is the reflections on the screen. And so the easiest thing to do is just leave the screen black, leave the screen turned off. You do need to add some tracking markers to obviously kind of link it all up afterwards. But by having a black screen, it means you get to capture all those reflections and stuff coming off the screen.
And you get a natural looking surface. Like in this MacBook that we painted cream, it had that soft texture to it already, so it looks like it belongs in that space.
Yeah, definitely. And also, if you look at the way screens work, it's basically light coming from behind the screen. So if you add an image to the screen and you set it to an add mode, it's effectively working the same way a screen does. And so it naturally looks the same.
The Spin is kind of like a smart camera assistant for people who don't have assistants. The only limit is your creativity.
We only had one go, really, at painting the cabinet.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that had to go right.
And we did kind of want to, do something that was visually, I don't know, surprising without feeling completely unattainable. Like, pretty much everyone can see how that's done. with multiple plates.
Well, I mean, I think the one thing people will wonder is, how did you get your arm inside a cupboard, which has a pretty simple answer.
You just chop the bottom out.
There you go.
Start and end points, and the swing will give you smooth
sliding video in any situation.
We also have the scene where a disco ball drops in. Yeah, we forgot to rent a DMX this day. So we just got 2 PAs to sit by the light switches, would call 3, 2, 1 off, and switch all of them off at the same time as you opened the barn doors of the Fresnel.
Yeah. It's always a way to do things.
Professionals.
But we aren't doing this alone. We've teamed up with the geniuses at Syrp Lab to design the spin and swing. So get ready to
Syrp Lab.
Yeah, the bright green monstrosity. When it pulls out from the TV, obviously we did a screen replacement there again. How do we match those 2 shots in post?
Well, it is just 2 shots, right? And it was all the same lighting and everything like that. And we literally just put the camera in 2 different positions, lined up the first shot with the wide, and then just punch zoomed out between the 2. And
opacity shift.
No.
Not fade out?
No, it was all motion blurred. So when we're sitting wide right now, what you can see on the screen is actually the close-up shot. And then it's just kind of feathered into the green around it.
up a notch. Have fun, create, and add your spin.
What were the biggest learnings?
I don't know. I think this is one of the first projects where we really did that much previs and pre-planning to the project. We had drawings of the whole thing as well. So, I mean, going into this, we knew exactly what we were doing.
And I mean, I've said it before, but that work has to happen. So the work is either going to have to happen on set when you're there and there's pressure and there's talent, or you can do it beforehand, or you can do it afterwards in post if you mess it up. So the work is always going to be there. If you can get ahead of it, you should.
And again, on shoots where a reshoot is nearly impossible, you need to know that you're getting everything you need. And I think the other advantage of doing that depth of pre-production is the client is very aware of what they're going to get.
Yeah.
So you can very much sign off on what you're going to be producing before you actually deliver, which will hopefully mean that back and forth at the end of the project will be a lot smoother.
If you want to check out the full video, it's in the description below. Otherwise, we have a whole lot of other resources on how to create different types of video on the Syrp Lab YouTube channel.
If you have any questions about this project,
Matt loves comments.
Yeah, happy to answer questions.